What grade would you give Obama in his first year? If you give him whatever grade.
D minus.
Alright, so what's your personal opinion of Barack Obama and the job he's done so far as president?
I honestly think that he's done a lousy job.
How do you feel about the job Barack Obama's done so far as president?
I think he's been a very enthusiastic president, but sometimes I think his focus is not where it should be.
Alright. How do you feel about the job Barack Obama's done so far as the president of the United States?
I feel Barack Obama has done a really good job as president, and that
It don't matter. Alright, so how do you feel about the job Barack Obama's done so far as president this first year?
I think it's pretty hard to judge how a president does because you can't really decide. I mean, with checks and balances, you can't really say that one person's made this big change or not. But I think that he has done a good job energizing kind of the people of America, and I think he is going out there and he's working hard to do the right thing. So I guess he's doing a good job.
Right. Barack Obama and the job he's done in the first year of his presidency.
Yeah, I think he's done okay. I mean, I think he's done some positive things, and I think he's got some work to do in others. I think he's made some mistakes, you know.
Right. Very optimistic, but then he didn't have any concrete anything to back it up, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I think that, Barack Obama came into the whole thing with the attitude that he's very charismatic, and he went around to a lot of talk shows, and he likes to really get people excited, and I think that we really needed that because people were really down on the country and the situation. But he talks a really good game, but where's the concrete evidence that this is all going to work out? He's put on a really good publicity show, but is anything real concrete going to come out of what he says? That's the question.
Do you see hope and improvement coming for the future?
It depends. If he can make the things that he says happen, then yes. But I think that he's being overly optimistic and spending too much money to get there, and that's probably going to cause more problems in the future. I think he's more focused on short-term fixes instead of what the long-term fix is going to be.
All right. Thank you.
A lot of people think that Barack Obama was elected, a majority of the votes he got was because of his race, because he was black, and he was just like it was just a new thing, black president. So do you think that had a big effect on people voting for him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Now, a lot of people said that the reason Barack Obama, maybe one of the reasons he was elected president was because of his race, because he was the first African American president. Do you think, how much of the race factor played a part in him being elected president, do you think?
I think it played a lot.
Really?
Because a lot of people wanted to see the first African American president in office, and a lot of people voted just because he was black. They didn't care what he stood for.
Okay, yeah. Some people said, a lot of people think that Obama got a lot of black votes just because he was black and people weren't voting him because of his experience. So do you think that played a huge role in his election?
His race?
Yeah.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous?
Absolutely ridiculous.
You're a Democrat, right? Or
yeah.
Liberal or whatever you're going to be called. What's the things that irks you most about how it goes?
It's the dream, hope is over. This is, that makes great campaign speeches, but when you get down in the muck, it's always a much dirtier job, and it's just, politics is complicated. You've got, he's not out there doing this all by himself. He's got to deal with Congress and all that other stuff, and they've got their own agenda. I think he's done okay. I want to believe that. There are areas that he hasn't addressed, but he's only been in office for, how long?
A year. All right, he did say he was trying to end the war overseas, but now he's sending 30,000 more troops over. So how do you feel about that?
I think that he's directing the troops where they need to go, and I think that he was a little too ambitious to think that he could end the war that soon anyway.
Right, okay. Before Barack Obama came in, were you for or against Barack Obama?
I guess I was neutral, I guess.
Okay. Has your opinion changed over the past year?
I haven't seen anything that really has made him be overly impressive in either positive or negative way. So not really. I mean, I think he's a good politician. I think he's a good public figure. So I mean, it hasn't gone down, if anything. So maybe it has improved a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. And he's only been in for 1 year, of course. So you don't know. Maybe. Were you for Barack Obama before he was elected?
I was against Barack Obama.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, he talked a lot about pulling out the troops out of Iraq and Afghanistan. I sent 30,000 more troops in. So, how do you feel about that?
You know, I'm not absolutely sure. Part of me, you know, most of me is saying that I support it because I think our true mission was over in Afghanistan, trying to fight Al-Qaeda and the groups that we really have a problem with. And I think we got sidetracked in Iraq, and it was one of those things that we started something and we wanted to finish it, but I don't think that we ever can fully finish it unless you know, we pull out.
Right. How do you feel about having national health care in America?
I think we need to leave things the way they are because it's going to send qualified doctors elsewhere looking for the paychecks that they can get here, and that we're going to lose quality if we put the government in charge of health care.
Was Guantanamo Bay and send those who reside in it to other countries, possibly their country of origin? That question's horrible. I'll probably reword that. I'll probably.
Well, we gotta do something with them.
What?
I said we gotta do something with them. What are we gonna do?
Well, you think we should just like let them out in other countries, not even be in prison anymore?
Well, that's not good. Is that what you think? That he's just like letting them go?
I mean, not all of them, but there's some of them. Yeah, he's just like put in other countries and just like.
You'd like to think that they're all Khalid Sheikh Mohammeds and whatever. That's not the case, man. There are innocent people down there. Let me rephrase that. There are people that are not guilty of crazy acts of terrorism down there. I got a movie for you to watch, man. It's called Taxi to the Dark Side.
Yeah, you talked about that last week. You got it?
You might be able to find it online. I don't know. It won an Academy Award. It's pretty interesting. It's all about how they round these people up. And a lot of, what they did, where a lot of these people came from, is when we went into Iraq and stuff, they went to the warlords and they threw money around. We want Al-Qaeda, and we will pay you, putting bounties on people. You bring them to us and we'll pay you for it, and pay them for scalps or whatever.
Right.
And so you're a warlord and you've got some enemies, or you're whoever, and you've got some people you don't particularly care for. What are you gonna do?
So do you think it's a bad thing we had Guantanamo Bay set up and the way we treat people like that?
I think when we start operating outside of our own law, then we are compromising our values as Americans. I mean, the thing that makes us great, whatever, that differentiates us from much of the other world.
Mm-hmm.
And when we start doing that, then in a way the terrorists win, because we're compromising who we are. And in many regards, I mean, that doesn't make us any different from, say, Saudi Arabia or China or many of these other countries that do this stuff all the time. And then we, how are we going to condemn other countries on their human rights when we're guilty of it ourselves?
It's an interesting point of view.
I mean, if we don't uphold our standards and our laws, for even the worst cases, then, then how are we any different from these countries?
Definitely. All right. So, what's your personal opinion on